And at some point, the recording there stopped. I think I have a fucking hotkey that I'm not aware of. So hopefully I catch that in the editing process and people haven't missed anything. When we end up putting that up on YouTube. So Bleakley's okay. Columbus, Bittner, and Milano. So, I mean, Columbus has Bittner at a 70 overall, 19 years old, and essentially a high top 6. They also had Milano, who was very similar. 70 overall, 19 years old, and a high top 6. I mean, Columbus is trying to move on from 2 very good prospects. Dallas, veterans, Detroit, nothing. Tomasz Nosek is there. Andrew Ferentz, Yager, Brian Campbell. LA is trying to move on from Spencer Watson, who is a 68 overall at 19 and a high top 9. So Bleakley's a little bit better. EA was horny for Sonny Milano. I mean, he was pretty highly touted, but yeah, it didn't age particularly well. LA's also trying to move Valentin Zykov, 73 overall at 20 years old, and a medium top 6. Spencer Watson was pretty highly touted out of junior, but yeah, he just didn't pan out. Don't know if there was injuries or something else. Montreal is trying to move Nikita Sherbak, a 68 overall at 20 years old, high top 6. They are also trying to move Noah Juleson, Canucks legend Noah Juleson, a medium top 4, 64 overall at 18 years old. And then they also had Tim Bozon. He's a medium 9. Yeah, we'll probably avoid Tim Bozon. But Sherbak and Juleson's a decent 1-2 punch. Nashville, Jess Kirkland. Again, I wish Arvidsson and Fiala were what they'd become, but they're not. Elias and Zubris on freaking New Jersey. You can load up this game any year, and you'll see those guys on the block. Rangers trying to move Dylan McElrath. Ottawa, Nick Paul. I mean, obviously, if I knew he'd turn into what he did, I'd take him, but Provorov can suck a fat one. So Philadelphia, primary dude here is Ghost Bear at a 73 overall, 22 years old, high top 6. It's not great. Oh, major. We were almost Nashville. They lost a vote to Detroit, and then Sam Besser kicked in and said, nope, you're going to be Vancouver. So I was like, all right, cool. Marlo Thornton, Joel Ward, St. Louis, Tommy Vanelli. Much worse than Ghost Bear, so no. Shout out to Vince Dunn, who has no potential at all in this game. Top hat, that's fair. Tampa Bay, nope, not getting that guy. What about Dennis Yan? High top 9. A worse high top 9 than Spencer Watson. What about Adam Ernie? You know, okay, hold on. And then, of course, rebuilding. It changes the order. Rebuilding Hockeytown legend, Matt Spencer. So, I mean, Adam Ernie is a 70 overall at 20 years old, a medium top 6. That's not bad. Matt Spencer, my GOAT. Matt Spencer. I forget what EA game it was specifically that he was just a fiend. Unfortunately, not the best potential in the world in this game. So it would be Ernie and Jan that I'd be interested in getting. So, dude, shout out to Anthony Cirelli, by the way, being way down there with no value whatsoever. Toronto, only Robida, Washington, Bowie, and Carrick. So you have Bowie at a 74 overall, 20 years old, and a high top 4. Oh, Sam, trust me, I'm marking down the high 9s. It's just whether or not there's... That particular guy wasn't the best one I had seen so far, but we could pair him with somebody else. And a high top 6 for Connor Carrick is okay, but not amazing. Okay, so we do have, and actually we have Winnipeg and goalies. Anybody giving away a good goalie? Good young goalie. Anybody? I mean, Hiller and Ramo aren't young. Anybody? Spencer Martin? I think that's the equivalent to high fringe. So, I mean, it's okay. Like, we don't have a goalie in the system right now at all. So, I mean, it's better than nothing. Dallas with nobody crazy. Florida's trying to trade Luongo, which would be very funny. Just a little Zach Fucale action from Montreal. That is high starter for Fucale. I think we found our goalie because we compare him with Sherbak and Juleson. We might be going after Zach Fucale. Major don't look, by the way. They didn't rate Yusei Saros well at all in this game. Major, I was talking about the ice caps earlier. That logo is S tier for me. Stolars. High fringe. Could pair well with Ghost Bear. Could pair well with Ghost Bear. He is 22. But that's not bad. Pittsburgh, nobody. San Jose, nobody. St. Louis, Husso and Lundstrom. Lefskis. Okay. So we kind of have our targets here if it's not picks. And in terms of the best returns and the fact that we need a goalie, our first talking partner is the Montreal Canadiens. Zach Fucale and Nikita Sherbak especially. Juleson wouldn't be bad, but these are the two primary guys I want. And we can maybe even try to see if Noah Juleson will also work out. Three players, especially the goalie and Fucale, who just did not pan out for Montreal. Skaters matching block, we don't get much help. They are trying to get younger. So that hurts us a lot. I think we might be able to get one. Based on using guys like Dorsett, Pruss, Spiza, and Picks. So it's got to be Fucale that we look at then. It's got to be. If we add... Oh, do they have cap issues? They do have cap issues as well. Fuck. It just might not be a good fit for right now then, unfortunately. They have cap issues. I mean, unless we were to use, like, Kennons. Can we use Prust? Nope. Can we use Spiza? No. Fuck. All right. Montreal might not be the right fit. I mean, I guess the argument is we could use one of our lower firsts, which right now is looking like San Jose and Boston. Like, if we use San Jose's first, we at least get a guarantee for a goalie with Fucale. If that were to go through. If I were to add Sherbak, and we were to also use the Boston pick, that would still go through. So it's a bit of a risk, but we are getting two guaranteed prospects here, and these picks are probably going to be low. I'm willing to do this. I mean, we acquired these two firsts for Jake Virtanen, and if we can then turn them into Zach Fucale and Nikita Sherbak, that's pretty good for us. Will Montreal take that deal? Yes, they will. And apparently, I got fleeced according to the game. But I don't care. Hopefully, we don't lose too much GM rep. That's why you should probably safety net. This is the game where you really learn to safety net. But we'll take it. We will take it. We have our goalie. Next up. Best possible return. For forwards is Columbus. For defensemen is Washington. So let's talk about Washington. Actually, you know what? The better value is Columbus with the forwards. It's Bittner and Milano. But again, they don't want who we might actually be able to use. Damn. How much cap space do they have? 3 mil? So we might be able to get one of them. They're basically identical. Yeah, because they don't even have Ryan Miller as a goalie matching the block. Shit. So if we were to use, like, Prust and Spiza, already it's too much. It might be because of roster size, and it was. Take a look at Paul Bittner. Decent skater, but nothing's too crazy about him right now. Let's look at Sonny Milano. They're both pretty similar. Milano's a better skater already. Bittner's obviously a little bit more offensive. Or a little bit more physical. Milano can at least take faceoffs. Bittner cannot. So if we had to go for one, it would be Milano. We would obviously have to add more to this deal, but if we could use Prust and Spiza as the basis for it, that's pretty good. Can I even throw in Derek Dorsett and just take back an Alex Broadhurst? No, that's too much. Okay. What about Kennens? I mean, he's 25. Okay, so Kennens works. So Prust, Spiza, and Kennens in a deal to primarily get Sonny Milano. We could also add in like our third rounder next year to safety net. Giving up like a good chunk of the active players right now to get someone who's in junior. Prust, Spiza, Kennens, and our third next year for Milano, Sedlak, and Broadhurst. No, because they'd have to put Curtis McElhaney on waivers. Trade so far. Sherbak and Fukale for 2 firsts. Thomas Chabot and Ben Harper to the Islanders for Franz Nielsen. A first, Yakov, Trennan, and Irving to Calgary for Yuri Hudler. Zach Mitchell and Dylan Labe for Brad Malone. And then before the deadline, our Bobby Sanguinetti trade. Just all of our other trades, basically. Steve Downey went to Edmonton for a second and a third. Eric Stahl went to Montreal for 2 firsts, and Michael McCarron. In fairness, Sean Bergenheim was also in that deal. Dallas is calling, but because we have a phone, let's go talk to Columbus. Even if this interrupts the Dallas offer, I'm okay with that. So, Milano, McElhaney, Lucas Sedlak. Let's do Kennens, Spiza, and Prust. That still goes through. And we did, what, a third next year? So what if we do a Carolina 4th instead? Kennens, Spiza, Prust, and a 4th from Milano, McElhaney, and Sedlak. Didn't go through. What does Dallas want? Bo Horvat. Yeah, it's not going to happen. We're not trading Bo Horvat. Columbus, let's talk. Sonny Milano. Curtis McElhaney. Do I even need to add the other guys at this point? We got Prust, Spiza, Kennens. Okay, I do need to add at least one. Let's add in Lucas Sedlak. And let's go back to a third rounder next year from us. Shit. Oh, man. They're really making me work for it. Mikhail Bodker and Rich Peverly were traded to L.A. for 2 firsts and Nick Ebert. It's a big deal for L.A. That's a big deal for Arizona. Tampa and Pittsburgh are both calling. Tampa, Adam Clendenning for Adam Ernie in a 7th. So Adam Clendenning is the equivalent of a high top 6. Adam Ernie is a medium top 6 forward. And we get a 7th. I mean, Ernie was on our list. How old is Clendenning at this point? He's 23. I think we take that. 11 points in 61 games as an OFD. That is a done deal. Adam Clendenning to Tampa for Adam Ernie. And a 7th. Done deal with Tampa. We'll go best lines for the moment. Pittsburgh had a completely different offer. Kennins for a 3rd. Gonna say no. At least we know it's there. But gonna say no because I think we can use Kennins to get Sonny Milano. So one more time. Curtis McElhinney. They took Sonny Milano off the board. Or they traded him, so it's Paul Bittner instead. Okay. For Kennins, Prust, Spiza, a Carolina 4th this year. They took on extra salary. They did trade Milano. You got to be kidding. Oh, you got to be kidding me. How long are these deals? Prust is on an expiring deal. Can I retain? Can I retain to make this work? Do I have to take on somebody else as well? Give me Broadhurst. All right. That deal's dead. That deal is dead. Columbus went a different direction. Columbus went a different direction. Fair enough. Okay. Well, next up then, best player we could possibly get. We go talk to the Washington Capitals about Madison Bowey. They do want Prust, Dorsett, and Spiza. So can we do 2 out of 3? We can't do 3 out of 3, though. So, I mean, Prust and Spiza. Obviously, I got to add a bit to make this happen. I do love seeing that we have Zach Fucale. They don't want Ryan Miller. I don't think they can afford him anyway. We are running out of time to trade Ryan Miller, by the way. But he is under contract through next season. So it's not a total disaster. So if we were to go, our second round pick, Brandon Prust and Lucas Spiza. Prust's deal is up at the end of the year, so we'll retain on him. What do they say to this? Done deal. Prust, Spiza, and a second for Madison Bowey. One of the best young defensemen in this game. I am more than good with that. Awesome. So defense, Tanev, Barberio, Bartkowski, Corrado, Bowey. Oh, no. We're doing Bobby Sanguinetti and then Taylor Fadoon for Madison Bowey. So Utica's going to be sick. Right wing side is decimated. Absolutely decimated. We should have some veteran forwards that we can call up. We're going to send down Adam Ernie. We'll swap him for Scarbosa. Then forwards, Alex Friesen at 25. We should be able to call you up too. I feel pretty good about that deal. I mean, it was our second rounder, so it'll be an early second. But yeah, I mean, the AHL team is going to be looking that much better. We do have some guys who are back in junior. But yeah, look at this. We added Bowey. We added Theodore. We added Sam Morin. I mean, the defense especially is taking a big step up. And then we can get Jordan Subban in there for Alex Biega. And now our goalies are Bachman and Fukale, but again, we're hopefully going to trade Ryan Miller so that Bachman can get called up. That is what's left for the moment. I still hope to be able to trade everybody in the top 6 except for Bo Horvat, but we might run out of time. And that is what's left of our defense. Literally the only guy who started the season on the blue line that is still here is Chris Tanev. That is a demolition. Sunshine on the 3 months. Thank you very much for that. Welcome back. Ow. The heck are you? Sorry, I thought I saw that a different trade went through and it stole my attention. But, I mean, yeah, Spiza Prust in a 2nd for Bowie. Ernie in a 7th for Clendenning. So Milano went to Calgary alongside Kevin Stenlund and a 1st for Mark Giordano and David Jones. I cannot blame the Blue Jackets for taking that deal. Can't blame them. Wow. Islanders and Wild are both calling. Islanders want Derek Dorsett for a 3rd and a 7th. Beautiful. I mean, Dorsett still has time left, so we might be able to do better than that. But I don't think we're going to get much better than a 3rd, right? That's about it. Derek Dorsett, off to the island. Fine by me. Who the hell can we even call up at this point? Sheesh. Do I have a defenseman I can call up to just play it forward? Alex Biega. 7th defenseman. Let's go. What does Minnesota want? Oh, Horvat. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Okay. So we need to focus on a Ryan Miller trade. Ryan Miller's got to go. Arizona wants him, but as far as I know, they didn't have anybody. Yeah, they didn't have anybody that I wanted. So let me make note of this. So we got Arizona. We could go for a 1st. Buffalo wants him back. Carolina. Not much crossover so far with teams that have prospects that I actually want. Actually, there's 0 crossover so far. Let's see, why would New Jersey want him? They have Corey Schneider. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, there were some good features, man. There were some good features. The relationships with teams, the reputation. I think the reputation system needed some work, but it looks like Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the only team that had prospects I was interested in. In fairness, one of them was Anthony Stolarz, and the other was Shane Gostisbehere. And they're both a little bit older at this point. But they no longer want to give those prospects away. Okay, so you know what? We need to kind of go around and see who works here for Ryan Miller. So Arizona, it would be a 1st, right? It would be picks for the Arizona Coyotes. They don't want to give up any of their 1st-round picks. The Coyotes are out of the Ryan Miller sweepstakes. Buffalo does not want to give up any picks. They don't have any prospects that we want. They're out. Carolina doesn't want to give up picks. They're out. Edmonton will give up their 1st-rounder next year. Okay. They also have Andrew Ferentz. Florida. No picks, no prospects, no shot. New Jersey. No prospects, no picks. It looks like Ryan Miller might be going to Edmonton. Philly. Willing to give up their 1st-rounder next year, but again, they're not really giving up prospects anymore, which kind of sucks. Yeah, they're not even giving up Stolarz anymore. Pittsburgh, they're willing to give up picks. No prospects, though. Sprong is off the board. Damn. And Winnipeg is out. Edmonton, Philly, or Pittsburgh for Ryan Miller. Edmonton's going to be the easiest to get it done because of the cap. What is the issue with this? Do we got to take somebody back? I mean, Andrew Ference is the only guy that they want to get rid of. Edmonton's 2017 first and Andrew Ference. I'll even retain salary on... maybe I won't. Let's do this first. A 2017 first and Andrew Ference. We'll go Ryan Miller and a 4th round pick from Carolina as a sweetener. Ryan Miller, you are an Edmonton Oiler. We have Edmonton's 1st round pick next year. And we also bring in Andrew Ference as, well, a bit of a helper because, goddammit, someone's going to play for this team. But Ryan Miller is out. Markstrom and Bachman, the tandem for the rest of the year. And that way, Zach Fucale is the starter down in Utica. And that leaves us with 2 more phones. Calgary and Nashville are calling. Calgary wants Jared McCann and Kennins for a 1st rounder from Columbus. Absolutely not. And Nashville wants Bo Horvat still. Absolutely not. So we have 2 phones left. In terms of trades, Radim Verbata must go. We can wait on the Sedins because they still have time left on their deals. Verbata is a must. It'd probably be better if we're going to move the Sedins to do it at the deadline or at the draft anyway. It would also be great to get Alex Burrows off of this team because he's a scumbag and a half. Everything else, we're looking okay. So, let's take inventory. Verbata and Burrows, who is interested to increase the value? Is anybody interested in either of these 2? Oh my God. Well, we're not really going to be able to do too well in terms of return. St. Louis for Verbata. And that's it. Wow. Okay, so we're going to have a tough time trading Burrows, apparently. What can we get from the Blues for Verbata? They are willing to trade their 1st. That's big. That is big. Prospect-wise, they are giving up Tommy Vanelli, but he's kind of So, I mean, if we could get a 1st round pick, I'd be pretty happy here. I'd be pretty happy. There's also a young Sammy Blais. Do they have cap issues? They do. I mean, if we could find a way to get Vanelli, it would be worth it. None of the guys they're trying to trade have cap hits. Steve Ott. Ryan Reeves, Robert Bortuzzo. Is Bortuzzo enough? No, he's not. Is Reeves? No, he's not. Is Ott? No, he isn't. What if we take out Vanelli? Ott's still not enough. Niles, this was from the Max Payne 3 soundtrack. I think the bot's broken, though. It is Tears by Health. All caps for all of it. All right. Why isn't this trade approved? I'm retaining Cap. We're taking back Steve Ott. Why wouldn't that go through? I don't understand. I don't understand. What if we also still tried to add Tommy Vanelli? It's showing them in positive cap space. I don't get why they wouldn't do this. Funny enough, they also want Andrew Ference, and that would definitely put them over the cap, but just shits and giggles. Let's see if we can just make a freaking monster deal here. So again, Steve Ott. If we add Reeves and if we add Bortuzzo, all good now. Take out Ference. Okay, that would apparently go through. Can I take out Bortuzzo? Yes, I can. So, Ott, Reeves, Vanelli, and a 1st as the basis to try and get Radim Verbata. I don't think we're going to be able to get Vanelli. I don't think we are. I think that's going to be a little bit too much. Unless we add picks of our own. And Vanelli is not necessarily worth that. But using Verbata to get a first-round pick from the Blues, we take back Steve Ott and Ryan Reeves. Ott's on an expiring deal. If they take this, I take this. They did not. We got one phone left to try to get something for Radim Verbata before he likely leaves for nothing. Which means we're probably going to have to overpay, but it'll be worth it. We got Ott, we got Reeves, Radim Verbata. Let's retain on Verbata. And we will add a couple of middling picks as well. Let's do a 4th rounder next year from Carolina and 2 6th rounders this year. Verbata, a 4th and 2 6th for their first. Ott and Reeves. At the buzzer, we get something for Radim Verbata, and that is a beautiful destruction of this team. Ryan Miller is gone, but we have a goalie in the system now in Zach Fucale, which is great because he's actually good in this game. The defense has been obliterated, to say the least. My God. Ryan Reeves is our only right wing. We do have Steve Ott on the left wing side, but yikes. And then centers is also pretty much a disaster. This lineup should suck. And then we can talk about the Sedins and Burrows at the draft. So we will do the Sedins with Burrows to try to raise up. Well, do I care about Burrows' trade value? I mean, I guess I do. Horvat will suffice being on the second line, I would think. So let's do Horvat with Vey and Kennens. And, yeah. That's a team, all right. That is a team. Oh, God, it's still the days where it showed alphabetical order. Honestly, we'll go Burrows, Henrik, and Daniel. Not a sniper on the team. Burrows still has term left. Can I see the contract from here? I can't. No, I can't. Hold on. Hit the wrong button. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right. He does have a year left. Or he is expiring. I thought he had a year left. Cool. I don't even have to worry about trading him then. He can just be off the team. Vey, Horvat, and Kenning. 75 face-offs for Vey. Horvat's at an 83. Kennens, 70, which isn't bad. But, yeah, we'll do Kennens, Horvat, Vey. And then, yeah, who gives a shit from there? Although Scarbosa might benefit from not playing with two ways, but that's okay. Defense is Ferentz and Tanev, Barberio, Bartkowski, Sanguinetti, Corrado. Goalies, Markstrom, Bachman. AHL. We have added quite a few promising talents. Obviously, we have Berchke, Castles, Jensen, Shinkaruk already, but we've added Adam Ernie, Nikita Sherbak. And then defensively, Bowie, Theodore, Morin. And we got some other guys that are in junior as well for the rest of the year. I think this was a very, very successful deadline of just tearing this team asunder.